Hey everyone, my name is Rooster and welcome back to Mechabellum. For today's video, it's going to be a replay against none other than the first Grandmaster in the game, B-Man, the 201 player that has the most games played in all of Mechabellum, a very worthy opponent. Now looking at the packs for me here, it's going to be probably a choice between the Giant Spec and the Quick Supply. I don't really like Sledgehammer packs, I think they have too little hit points, so it's going to be the Tarantula here, and it's a unit that I am more familiar with. 4,800 hit points, also quite nice. I am the Giant Spec on top of things, so if you want to get a cheap Giant at some point, be able to unlock it, or just unlock it to deny it from the free unit drops for our opponent, that's available to us. My opponent is going to be Steel Ball Crawler, which is usually a good matchup for the Steel Balls on like round 1, but tends to get a bit tricky in the mid-game because of how good Tarantulas are at headbutting, specifically because they chaff clear so well when they get things like high explosive and range enhancement. You'll see me go for a central pool here, double Fang. My opponent goes for one Crawler and one Arclight so that he does have some chaff clear and plays asymmetrical. But yeah, with the center pool here, we are able to make sure that we'll be able to join the fight no matter where our opponent decides to start, and it's going to be the right side of the board this time. Now usually you lose out with spiders against steel balls on round 1 because you won't have the damage, but with the marksman here it might be a different story. And in fact, because of this marksman going to the left tower, we get a good tower debuff timing, and that might mean we can get rid of all of these steel balls. It does. So by some miracle we are able to win round 1, which is fantastic for us, and we chip away at our opponent's hit points. That's really good for me because I think in the mid game I will be favored depending on what my opponent decides to play. Opponent, by the way, is an aerial specialist. Now, Phoenix's is not that scary because we do have the marksman, but I have to think about the potential for Wasps to come out here. Round 2 reinforcements. Subsidized Mustang is an idea, but I already have Tarantula, and I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of playing Tarantula with Mustang. Mustang also not known to be good into things like Arclight and Crawler. Could pick up the Electromagnetic Impact. It's a nice spell with a low cooldown, so I'll be able to get many uses out of it, but this early on I'll just get the slow because my opponent won't have any text to disable. Elite Hacker is an idea, but not sure if that's something I want to play. My opponent picks it up. Hacker, probably the best counter into Spider, so I get that he picks this up. It's only 50 cost, so even if he doesn't get to play it, it does threaten the possibility, and it might prevent me from going deeper into Tarantula. Now, of course, I don't know this, and so for now I'm just going to be building more Tarantulas. I decided to go for another Tarantula and a Fang on the right side, and then I'll buy a Crawler as well, so triple deployments for me this turn. Opponent buys a mobile beacon, and yeah, this is what I was trying to preempt, making sure that the outside of the tower here is going to be completely fine. An opponent goes for more chaff, as we see a level up, the beacon, a Fang pack in the middle, and a Crawler here in the shadow flank. Spider is locked onto the steel balls. That's not ideal for me, and sadly one of the steel balls immediately locks onto my Spider, so chaff clear wise we're not doing too great on that side. In the middle though, things are looking much better. Again, I only have to deal with the one pack of steel balls this time, so if we were able to deal with it in the first round, we definitely should be able to now. And yeah, looks like we will be losing out on one tower there. Steel balls are picking up enough experience to level up, so that's probably going to be a level 2 steel ball at the start of round 3. But that's going to be all she wrote, and we do manage to pick up another round. Enough experience as well for the Tarantula to level. Worth considering. Round 3. Bunch of good blue items there. Heavy armor, improved firepower control system. Great for the both of us. It's nice on Tarantula. Improved firepower control system could be good on something like a Mustang or a Typhoon if it shows up for B-Man. I'm a bit on the fence here whether or not I want heavy armor improved. Advanced power system is good too, but I don't think it's necessary for me. My opponent could consider it. Oil also a consideration. Opponent picks up the improved firepower control system. decides to go for a Wasp play on the left side. Adds the crawlers in front so that they're even harder to deal with. I decided to go for Wasps myself because I wanted to protect the flanks. And, well, my opponent doesn't have anything that can deal with Wasp at this stage, so it seemed like a good investment. I'm also using the improved on these Wasps. My opponent is doing the same on the left side. I do add a second pack of Wasp, but with the crawlers in front, I won't be able to defend against this. But maybe the Wasps on the right side will be able to stay alive and win the round for me. They definitely do a good job here of helping out against the steel balls. This time around, the Tarantula doesn't get insta-locked. I do get debuffed, however, and that means I'm going to be losing out on this spider in the middle. Steel ball there, locking onto the other spider. Ooh, that doesn't look good at all. We are able to get rid of it, and the level 2 spider is fighting for its life. Does get rid of all the steel balls, but will perish in doing so. And now it's only the Wasps left for me. Is that going to be enough? Only 3 Wasps remain for my opponent, so I feel like we should be fine. Only have a couple crawlers to deal with and the level 2 Arclight. So a very marginal win here for me. And both of our Wasps are leveling. Round 4, and we get a bunch of unit reinforcements. Farseer here looks kind of tempting. Good unit all around. Phantom Ray is a consideration as well. Pretty decent frontline unit. And can be good against the Typhoon. Opponent goes for that Typhoon. And remember, he does have the improved firepower control system. If he decides to sell this and transition it onto that level 3 Typhoon, I think it is going to be an absolute menace to deal with. And yeah, that is exactly what happens. So let's see how this plays out. I decided to go for the Phantoms as a frontline to my Wasps because I decided to range the Wasps. Maybe this was a bad idea, but I didn't know if my opponent wanted to keep going with his Wasp shenanigans, and I just kind of wanted to secure, 1, the flanks, and 2, make sure that I don't lose out in that Wasp versus Wasp matchup. Phantoms could be good with armor enhancement. They tend to be decent against Typhoon, although into this one, 448 damage. Even level 2 Phantom Ray will only be blocking 120 of that, so still a decent pickup, but it won't be able to tank forever as it would be against something like level 1 or level 2 Typhoons. I am adding a Tarantula on the left here, Crawler as well, making sure that we are well protected from anything on the left side. But yeah, this Typhoon I am foreseeing will create some problems. You can see how quickly it is dispatching of these tanky air units. The Wasps are still doing a good job of clearing the rest, but yeah, I mean, these guys are absolutely feasting on my army, and these are leveled units, keep in mind, so they give away a lot of experience, and that is not what I want. I don't want these Typhoon to level any more than they already have, because they could be an absolute menace to deal with. Arclight in the middle, by the way. Range has been given, is doing a fantastic job as well for B-Man. We are managing to get in on the left side, but I have a sneaky feeling that these Typhoons, with the help of the crawlers there getting the debuff, will simply be cleaning house. And yeah, I mean, you can see their experience bar creeping up towards the level 4 requirement. That is not what I want to be seeing. It's a close round, but I'm kind of afraid of these Typhoons in the corner there. Round 5, we get Orbital Javelin. I instantly pick it up. It's a spell that has a pretty low cooldown for the amount of impact it has. Something like Nuke, for instance. Similar spell, but much more expensive, and has a 4-round cooldown. And yeah, I mean, I'm throwing that right on top of the Typhoons. Trying to put it right in the middle, because even if my opponent tries to move away, I feel like I should be able to hit them. Typhoons are not the fastest of units, so willing to risk this. If I can get rid of it, that's at least 1 round of respite. Decided to pick up the armor anyway on the Phantom Rays, because with the level 3 Typhoon, I was expecting my opponents to just buy more Typhoons, and even though the level 3 with the item might not care, level 2s definitely will. And so yeah, you see me add another Phantom, another Wasp here. I'm kind of just trying to play that game where I'm relying on the Wasps. I was thinking about the potential of something like Worm Wasp, as Worms should be pretty good into Typhoon as well. Also have access to that armor tech. And yeah, I already had tech my Wasps, so, you know. The Javelin does hit. That's very nice. And you can see on the left side, the armor is doing a lot of work. Typhoons are barely damaging it. They deal 197. So, some of the damage there is getting through. 77 damage. But still, that's a good reduction. And the tankiness will mean that we managed to pick up a good round here. We do quite a bit of damage, sending B-Men already down to close to 2k hit points. Very happy with how that round went. Enhancement module shows up. Absorption module, another good item. Especially for something like the Typhoon. I wouldn't be too surprised if my opponent picks it up. You could go for enhancement module as well, but nothing really to level up. And I'm not sure that he wants to sell out of his Typhoons anytime soon. I decide to level up and sell a Tarantula, and then I move the enhancement module onto the Phantom Rays, which did pick up a level. They're now level 3, so they should be able to tank the almost the full damage here of the level 2 Typhoons. They block 180, so only 17 damage a shot is going to go through. And I'm just deciding to buy more Wasps because I thought, well, the front line does really well. And with these levels, I might just be able to get away with something like Elite Marksman. Opponent decides to pick up some level 1 Phoenixes to try and deal with the Phantom Rays. I'm not sure I like this all that much. Goes for AA on the Typhoons. Now that could be very good indeed. Getting that 90% attack increase will definitely matter against the armored Phantom Rays, and they will be able to deal damage. I'm not even speaking of this abomination of a Typhoon on the right side. I don't really want to know how much damage it does to air units. I know that it's going to be plenty to take out my army, so I just hope that I can get rid of it before it takes me out. Not going for any chaff gear on the right here, though, I think was definitely a mistake. But I'm not even sure if it would have mattered, to be completely fair. But yeah, we are struggling somewhat on this side to clear everything because I did sell that Tarantula. I think that is a mistake. And left side, you can see that these Typhoons, I think, just killed those Phantom Rays straight up. So the anti-air doing so much work. And yes, suddenly my front line, which was doing really well, just melts to the exact same units, but with one tech. Not good. But here come the free units. And here I have a decision to make. I can either try and go Scorpion, which would be the classic counter to Typhoon, or I can go Fortress, which I think is also a very, very solid counter. I decide to go for Fortress. Main reason is I prefer the tankiness of Fortress. Fortress also has AA available, so if my opponent wants to go deeper into Phoenix, I'll have a counter to that. And yeah. The other thing is that Fortress is also better at chaff clearing than a Scorpion is. It shoots much faster. And so, honestly, I don't think its damage output is worse than that of a Scorpion. I'm able to just buy 2 level 2s here, grab the Launcher Overload, and just start to DPS down my opponent. The other thing about Scorpion as well is that if it just shoots at a chaff unit, it'll be stuck reloading for 4 seconds. 4.5 even, and I mean even longer if I take double shot. And yeah, I think these Typhoons will simply be able to either tank a shot or just straight up kill the Scorpions, because they will be much squishier than something like these Fortresses. Yeah, opponent here is just going to go for full carry Typhoon. Did pick up the enhancement module last turn, by the way. And yeah, I'm selling out of the Phantom Rays because they got deleted last turn. And I'm moving the module around onto my Wasps. And this turn, I'm just hoping that these Fortresses will be able to do something. Opponent, though, right away going for loose formation. Very, very good tech there. Extremely powerful against my board because Fortress shoots as fast as an Arclight. And only has 2 meters less splash. So it's actually quite good at clearing things like normal crawler packs, but it's not good at all versus loose formation. And yeah, that's a really good pickup on my opponent. I'm managing to get in on the left side, but the right side got melted. Look at the damage here, 100k by these Typhoons already. And yeah, the Mech Rage is giving 50% bonus attack to everything, right? Whereas anti-air only gives bonus to air units. And it's just melting down level 2 fortresses. And I mean, if I had taken Scorpion here, it would have been in a much worse spot. They would have instantly died. And I'm not even sure if I would have killed enough Typhoons. Nano Repair Kit shows up. Seems like a good item. Additional deployment slot is good as well. But I'm probably going to be simply spamming fortresses from here on out. So I don't think I'll be able to make use of all the additional deployments. B-Man playing cheaper units, it does pick it up. Decides to sell out of his level 2 Typhoon there, and is moving around the enhancement module even more. I mean, look at these Typhoons. Level 5 now, 1,126 damage every 0.2 seconds. Okay. That is kind of scary. That being said, my fortress hits very hard as well. 12,000 damage every 0.9 seconds. Not bad. The thing here, though, is I have a lot of stuff to sell out of. I want more fortresses. I get barrier. Just trying to tank against these units. And yeah, buying more of those. But I will have to fix the crawler problem. For now, I'm just letting it slide because there's multiple things I have to think about. I need better frontline. I need to get more damage. And so yeah, for now, Fortress will have to do. And then I'll probably need something like Mustang to be able to deal with these loose formation crawlers. Opponent goes for EMP on his arc lights. It's a good thing, though, that I did go for the barrier, as it should protect my fortresses somewhat. And we get more crawlers onto the flank. Opponent being really annoying here. And yeah, I'm slowly selling out of my tarantulas because they're not going to do that much. And yeah, that's the annoying bit for me here, is that I have a lot of stuff on the board that I don't really want to make use of anymore, but I can only sell one unit a turn. Opponent moving away, and this is a very nice play. Manages to land some oil, which is slowing down the one fortress that would be going for the tower. And so he's managing to prevent himself from getting debuffed. The Typhoons, level 5, still shredding on the right side. This tower is still unleveled. I'm trying to win the headbutt, but it's just not working. And yeah, 9 seconds of debuff. This is a level 2 fortress with nano repair, by the way, but I have a sneaky feeling it's going to get melted. Look at how fast that is dying. The Phoenix is doing a pretty good job of DPSing as well, but they completely pale in comparison to this level 5 Typhoon pack, dealing 122,000 damage, and that's sending me down to 632 hit points. Oh no, Scorpions show up again. But at this point, I don't think there's much reason to pick them. The reason is I would have to probably double tech them and buy more of them, but I really should do the same with my fortresses, right? Keep in mind, I have to deal with these loose formation crawlers still, so I need Mustang. More fortresses would be great. Getting more levels, more deployments, more shields, getting another tech on them makes a lot of sense. So there's no point going for the Scorpion. That means I go for the Saber Tooth. My opponent does the same. We both sell, and we just get a bunch of money. And yeah, the Javelin is back off cooldown. That's the nice thing. Do you have the Javelin? I decided to go for triple Mustang here. That was what I was hoping for, by the way. I was hoping that the game would give me Mustang so that I would be able to, well, get those deployments in for free and still have deployments left to, you know, build my board as I would have liked. Now here, I think I do make a bit of a mistake. I think I should have already clicked range on my fortress. I have 600 left in the bank. I could definitely just loan, get the temp range, and get the range on the fortresses, but I don't. I'm going for a safer Javelin as well. I was expecting my opponent to beacon this big pack again. I didn't really want to have to guess where he was going to go, so instead I'm just going to try and hit this level 4 with the Phoenixes behind, and yeah, just get some guaranteed value. Triple Typhoon is being added to the board. I do loan and get temp range, but Yeah, not too happy with my decision making overall, I would say. Definitely should have gone for the range. I think I actually even floated some money that turn because I ran out of time. Left side is still doing a great job. I'm using the mobile beacon to make sure that we do go to tower. And we will get there. Sadly, Typhoons are still shredding. We did kill one of the raid bosses, but the other one is still well and truly alive. And my fortresses will have to make the journey over. Typhoon here has turned its attention to the tower. We managed to get tower first, but I think this one will fall as well. I mean, this is during debuff, by the way. Look at how quickly that is melting. 9 seconds of debuff now. One raid boss Typhoon and an Arclight. How much can it do? Shredding the Wasps there. Going to kill that marksman as well, but these full health fortresses will be able to dispatch of it. So pretty big turn. B-Man now within striking distance as well. And now we get around 10. Oh, Lightning Storm shows up, and look at how many air units I have. That does look scary indeed. I pick it up as well. Lightning Storm is actually pretty good at clearing chaff. So if I can hit some crawlers here, it'll definitely help. And I could hit some of the phoenixes as well. They're not the most important, but, you know, we'll have to take it. And, yeah, opponent decides to fully tech their Typhoons. Now with the barrier and the homing missiles as well, which do scale with levels, so very scary on this Typhoon. They also do get the bonus damage from the item, so those are going to be hurting. And, yeah, I decide to lone, take the temp range, and I am buying more level 2 fortresses here, trying to stack them on the right side, making sure that I don't get debuffed, that I properly protect my units, although the Lightning Storm is on the left. Again, we're going to go for that mobile beacon and just hope that it's enough. Storm is doing a good job there of clearing the crawlers, but it's doing a great job on the left as well, getting rid of my wasps. And I'm not really sure how to evaluate this. I mean, look at this. Oh, the missiles killing a level 2 fortress. We still have most of them alive on the right side, and the left side looks healthy too, but I'm not sure we're going to get to tower in time. Trying to kill these Typhoons, but the middle now seems to be more of a problem than the right side, even though this big Typhoon, level 6, one of them still alive, is not looking too good for me. Phoenixes are still alive, so I don't have any anti-air left. I've got 632 hit points, but I would have to kill most of these Typhoons. Look at how much damage. That's a level 3 nano fortress. And with the debuff, I think that is simply going to be game. Yep, Typhoons are going to kill my stuff, and so I lose the game. I decided to upload this because I thought it was quite an exciting one. Very tense, and showcasing the power, not only of free units, because remember, this was all kickstarted on round 4 by the level 3 Typhoon, and that improved firepower control system that was picked up before. And the power of Typhoon as a carry. I mean, yes, there are phoenixes here, but let's be honest. Okay, one of them is actually second on damage, but most of the heavy lifting was being done by the Typhoons. They were chaff clearing, they were killing the air units, and they were even DPSing down the barriers from the fortresses and killing the fortresses themselves. A scary, scary unit indeed. Now, I misplayed this game. I think the biggest misplay I did was not go for the range on the fortresses on round 9. I had the resources for it if I planned around it accordingly. And on round 10, I should have done the same. In fact, I'm going to quickly go into the replay feature, which is a very nifty thing, and show you guys what I should have been doing on the last turn. So we get the Lightning Storm here, which we definitely pick up. We're going to have to position that on the right side because we need to get rid of the chaff and just kind of match, right, what my opponent is doing. One mistake I did is I did not sell out of my Wasp here. I should have done that to retrieve that enhancement module and make sure that we are able to level up one of the fortresses here for free. Should definitely loan. I needed the temp range, the temp speed, and I need to get range on the fortresses. With that out of the way, I've got 850 resources left to spend. What should I do? Probably buy 2 more fortresses. We're going to stack them here on the right side as I did because, well, we want to try and make sure that we get rid of the stronger Typhoons The left side here honestly looks pretty good to me. I'm going to try and waltz this into the left tower and make sure that we can get the debuff. I'll probably try and do something like this, kind of a straight line into the tower. And let's get rid of maybe some of the chaff. We can try and missile either the left side or the right side. I think I might just try and go for the left. No, let's do the right. We have to try and kill this monster, right? And then we just end deployment, and we can see what the difference will be. The range on the fortresses makes a massive difference because they were walking for quite some time. Especially on the left, you can see they're already locked on now, whereas otherwise they would have had to walk forward and just be getting shot at during that time. The right side also looks much better now, as the fortresses are locked onto those monsters. The middle still looks scary, but I managed to get a debuff on the left. And with all of these fortresses left alive, I still have some Mustangs as well, which means that I'll be able to get rid of the surviving Phoenixes. And so that is how we completely turn around the outcome of this game. In fact, we deal 2.3k damage, which would have been enough to win. And not just that, win with a significant amount of overkill. Either way, it shows you how one decision can impact the outcome of a game. Shows you the power of the Typhoon. Unit is still very scary, especially if you do get a high level one from something like a unit drop. That being said, fortresses are beasts. It was my bad for not getting range. I should have done that and it would have been an easy win. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up. If you want to stay up to date with all my latest content, please consider subscribing. Check me out on Twitch if you want to see me play live. And let me know down below what you think of Typhoon. What do you like? What do you think about Fortress? Do you like these units? Do you hate them? Put it down below. And with that being said, have a lovely rest of your day. Take care and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.